This is the Doing Stuff Daily Podcast, episode 30. I am Bill McConnell, speaker, author, and self-proclaimed habit guru, with people redoing a roof across the street. So anytime during this podcast, you'll hear it a lot. There might be a little bit of hammering in the background. I can't do a thing about that. I'm so sorry.
Doing Stuff Daily is your pathway for positive change through daily habits that shape your life. Transform your world one habit at a time, one day at a time, to make a personal impact with your family, your business, and your life.
So I am back from the very edge of what I consider to be a lot of a wasted time in my life to share with you some stuff. This is the first of 30 habits for success. Today is the habit, and it's the very first one. Today is the habit of personal belief. It's the first of 20, and I'm going to share just my honest journey through each of these 20 habits. An honest look into the backside of my life, so to speak. Aren't you glad this is a podcast? It's also a video, but anyway, I know for a fact that if you don't believe in you, no one else will either. Your own negative self-doubt starts to rub off on those you're closest to and those you love the most, like your spouse, your kids, and your friends. The habit of personal belief will give you confidence that cannot be confused with arrogance. You will not turn into someone's puppy dog, like I did, and your future will look brighter than ever. Confidence, I believe, should be taught at a very young age, and that's something that I just was not taught. I was not taught confidence. Children should be raised to be self-confident, but most are not. Most aren't raised with anything, and they got to figure it out. And most of this world is, it's negative. The social media, the political atmosphere, just about everything just seems to be, it's a very negative time in life to look around. And so we have to be proactive in our being positive. Now, when I was growing up through junior high and high school, I remember very clearly now that I had no identity of my own. No identity of my own. Well, I had an identity, but I didn't want that identity. I didn't embrace that identity. This was back in the 60s and 70s, 1960s, 1970s. I was wearing glasses when I was 6 years old. None of my friends wore glasses. So I was the only one. So I got the nickname Four Eyes. I got the nickname Goggle Face. I got those nicknames. They're not positive nicknames. Instead of fighting back, I didn't know how to fight back. Fine, that's who I am. It's a terrible thing to do. I also had flat feet, and my mother, I love her, my mother insisted that I wear orthopedic shoes because that was the only option back in the 60s and the early 70s. I wore black leather orthopedic shoes when everybody else around me was wearing running shoes. Converse high tops. The early stages of Adidas. They got all those. But I couldn't wear any of those. I had to wear black leather orthopedic shoes and glasses. That was me growing up. I had no self-esteem whatsoever. And I was teased a lot. But here's what happened. In about grade 8, a new kid came to town. His name was Don Sidney. Don was athletic. He was confident. And he was most things that I wanted to be. So I latched onto him, and I became his puppy dog. Whatever Don did, I did. And it's weird because Don and I became friends. We became friends and stayed friends all through high school, even on into college a little bit. But I was pretty much his puppy dog. I don't know how he put up with me. He'd go get something, I'd go get something just to be like him. It was that bad. I had no guidance for self-confidence. I had nothing like that. It was crazy. Oh, man. It was just rough. Looking back, I can think of only one thing. I was Don's puppy dog. Wherever he pulled, I pulled. He went into track, I went into track. Now, I was pretty good in track, but I was in track because Don was in track. He played football, I played football. He was a lot better than me. I wasn't that great, but I made the team. It wasn't that hard. Our football, anybody that went out made the team. I didn't break away from that puppy dog mentality until my senior year. Just some different things happened. I gained a little bit of personal belief in myself, or just in not being Don. It bled over into my adult life. It was absolutely terrible. So here's another problem. My focus shifted away, but I didn't break free from the dependence of wanting someone else's confidence as my own. As a result, I worked hard for the approval of others and not for the service of others. I had very little confidence in myself. And I got to be honest, I've lived most of my adult life not being confident and not believing in myself until the past 5 or 6 years, where I started to realize and I started to grow personally. I was raised, by the way, with the founding father of sarcasm. That's one primary thing that I remember of my father. My father's not a bad man, but he was a very sarcastic man, a very negative man. And I grew up from day one listening to him. And I learned how to be sarcastic. I can do it in a heartbeat. It hurts people. It's fun at times if you know where it's coming from, because, sarcasm is a fun form of humor. But you got to be very careful with it. And it can't be a personality thing. My whole life, a lot of it was, I'm not good enough. I just didn't believe in myself. It wasn't until, like I said, not that long ago, where I learned to believe in me. Believe in the fact that I don't need anyone else for my own self-worth. I do not. I had no one to guide me earlier, and I realized I had to guide myself, and I started to grab hold of confidence. And as soon as I started to grab hold of confidence, I started to lose a lot of my fears, because with a lack of confidence comes an abundance of fear. So I'm going to give you an action plan for believing in yourself. These are things that I do. First, wake up every morning with something positive to say to yourself. Wake up every morning with something positive to say to yourself, like a morning mantra. And you say it to yourself, and you say it convincingly. You say it with conviction. I am, finish the sentence. I can, finish the sentence. I will, finish the sentence. The world doesn't have to believe in you. You have to believe in you. Remember Muhammad Ali? I am the greatest. And he was serious. He said it because he believed it in himself. He said it before it even became true. And it's arguable that he was actually the greatest boxer in the world, but everybody remembers him as the greatest. And he was just self-talking his way into the world. Now, I'm not asking you to self-talk your way to the top of the world. That'd be great if you could. You just want to self-talk yourself into self-confidence. Start feeding yourself daily doses of positive input. I have something on my iPhone, an audio file that I listen to 2 times every morning. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to listen to it until I have it memorized. It's 11 minutes long. And once I have that memorized, I'm going to find something else. I'm going to listen to it until I have it memorized. But it is my daily dose of positive input, along with a lot of reading, finding podcasts that build me up, stuff like that. But start feeding yourself daily doses of positive input. You've got to counteract the negativity that's going on in this world. You just have to. Everybody has to. Rise above it. And third, make this idea of saying something positive to yourself every day. Make this a 90-day goal. From right now, let's just say go to the end of the year. Every day you wake up. Never miss. Commit to it. Get a calendar. Start marking off X's on the calendar. If you miss a day, don't get down on yourself. Just get back up and start again and start a new chain of X's on that calendar. Every day, talk to yourself positively. Talk to you positively about you. Talk to you positively about you. The payoff when you do this, you're going to believe in yourself more fully and more completely. You will begin to act out your beliefs. It's amazing how your actions will change when you believe in yourself more. It's absolutely amazing. Growth leads to belief. Feed your mind every day with self-development material. New knowledge, empowering speakers, and taking action. Listen to those things. Start to believe in you. Believe in those things and pump some positivity into your life. Once you start making progress, belief will come. Belief will grow. No one will believe in you until you believe in you. It will make a difference in your marriage. It will make a difference with your kids. It will make a difference in your work. It will make a difference in your relationships with other people. It will make a difference. And it's not arrogance. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Arrogance, it's all about you. But when you're confident, you are confidently all about helping other people. And people will notice the difference. I'm Bill McConnell, doing stuff daily. This is the first habit of success. Believe in yourself. You're worth it.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Doing Stuff Daily. Let Bill give you this free resource based on Bill's current book. Download this 3-part Conquer What's Next blueprint at doingstuffdaily.com/follow-up. Join us for the next episode. Don't forget to tell a friend. Take a moment and drop in at iTunes to give this podcast the rating you feel it deserves. Be careful. Listening to this podcast could become a weekly habit.